introduce one of my favorite stars, Doug Jones.
Wow, hi. How are you guys doing today? Good? Happy? Yeah. I guess this is mine. I'm going to sit right here because it's the only chair on stage. Well, I got a table here too, so I can play the table. Anything I want on the table. Is that better? Let's see. Where do I start about myself? This is going to be boring, I think. Okay, I'm going to talk about myself now. Is that okay? It's my favorite topic. I'm kidding. I bore myself to tears. I'm a tall, skinny guy. I don't know if you all knew that or not, right? Yeah. And when I was in high school, I was 20 pounds lighter than I am now. If that's pounds, I don't know what that would be in kilos, but I was just even skinnier than I am now in high school.
9 kilos.
Yeah. I wasn't so sure if I had a place in this world. Like, what on earth was why was I born this way? What was my purpose in life? Well, I think it was to play creatures in the movies. Apparently, that's how it worked out. Some of you might be looking at me and thinking, who the hell is that? you don't know the space very well. Back in 1985, I moved out from my hometown of Indianapolis, Indiana, to Los Angeles, California, to seek my fame and fortune in Hollywood. Yeah. And I thought, because I'm this tall, skinny, goofy guy, I pretty much knew that, like, if I didn't look like Brad Pitt or Matt Damon, I was going to have to be scary or funny, right? That's kind of like the curse that I'm left with as an actor. I have to. They're not going to ever hire me to be the romantic leading man, you know? Even though I am in my own life. But I've had a career now that's been full of scary and funny. So, but getting out to Hollywood, I thought my first thought was that I was going to be a sitcom star. I was sure of it. I was going to be the goofy next door neighbor who comes in, every episode and does armpit farts and says something funny and leaves. That was going to be kind of like a Kramer from Seinfeld or something like that, or the funny office mate or whatever that leans over and says something funny, and then that's it. I didn't realize at all that my career would turn into what it has. I don't know what it is I do now. I'm really not sure. But because I have a background from when I went to university, I joined a mime troupe. So yes, I have a background as a mime. And if you tell anybody, you're dead. Nobody likes mimes, really, do they? Not really. Do you? Thank you. What's that? Shh, sorry. Okay, there's more where that came from. There. If you have time. How long am I on? Till 2? Okay, great. So with the mime background, my first agent when I got to Los Angeles, he knew that I had this physical sort of background. And so he ended up submitting me for all kinds of auditions for TV commercials that were physical comedy and wearing costumes and anything with movement and that kind of thing, because this mime thing, whatever. So one of the first jobs I booked was the Mac Tonight campaign for McDonald's. And some of you are too young to remember this, but it was a crescent moon head with sunglasses on, sang at a piano, when the clock strikes 6:30, baby, oh yeah! That was me. Yeah. I knew they did play in this region of the world, didn't they? Yeah. That was back in like the late 80s, early 90s. And now you're figuring out how old I am, aren't you? Really? But I look really young and supple, don't I? Thank you. Yeah, I'm 48 years old. Whatever. It could be worse. But that. What happened because of that Mac Tonight campaign from McDonald's, it kind of had me marked as the tall, skinny, goofy guy who moves well, wears a lot of crap on his face, and doesn't complain about it. That's the reputation I sort of gained. So that reputation then went off into the creature effects makeup industry. So the Mac Tonight campaign from McDonald's lasted about 3 years, and I did 27 commercials in that 3-year period. So that was a lot of television time in the U.S. especially. And so with that campaign, many makeup artists and sculptors and puppeteers and mold makers and all kinds of people came into the Mac Tonight campaign and, for a commercial shoot, and would go back to their creature effects shop. And a lot of them might go back to Stan Winston Studios or Rick Baker's studios or Greg Cannon Studios, Oscar-winning makeup artists, right? And when they worked with me and met me for, a week, and then go back to this other shop where they're making movies, my name would come up over there, right? When they would, a movie company would come to Stan Winston's and they would say, like, we need some kind of a tall, skinny, alien, zombie, mutant, bug man creature thing. And they'd be like, oh, we just worked with the Doug Jones guy. Yeah, so that's when I would get a phone call. That's kind of how my career has snowballed over the years. Snowball gets bigger as it goes. Yeah, I'm just saying. Moving like snowball. Do you have snow down here? Yes. Oh, you do. Okay, good. I don't know. I did in Indiana when I grew up, but in California we don't have snow. Well, not in my part of California. I'm boring myself to tears up here. I am. So after the Mac Tonight campaign ended, I ended up getting referred for more and more movies and TV shows, as like a lot of people. Now, my career kind of had a fork to it. Part of it's like the creature effects, like wearing a lot of crap on my face. The other part was me with my own face. So my career was totally forked. Yeah, it's a joke. But the part with my own face is like, me doing sitcom appearances. I did end up working in sitcoms but shows that you may not know down here, like Rock Me Baby and Unhappily Ever After and It's a Living, and none of these titles mean anything to you. But then I also 1-hour drama shows. I've done lots of like that. I guest starred on CSI, the Vegas one. I guest starred on 2 episodes of Criminal Minds. Now, do you get that show here? Yeah. Yeah. In fact, one of them has yet to air. That's I played the captain of the Fight Club. Did you see Fight Club? Yeah. That wasn't me, was it? Yeah. I don't know what they were thinking, but I think I pulled it off. I had some crazy one in the eyes. I did. Yeah. And but it goes on. Well, in the meantime, so what happens was, so in those 90s range, I did movies like, one of the first big movies I did was Batman Returns. Anybody see Batman Returns? Michael Keaton, Michelle Pfeiffer was Catwoman, and Danny DeVito played the Penguin. Well, Danny DeVito's sidekicks were the Red Triangle Circus Gang, right? I was in the Red Triangle Circus. That's a good one. I like that, yeah. Oh, don't answer it. That way I want to keep dancing. So anyway, I'm sorry. I just totally embarrassed that poor fellow. Batman Returns. I was in the Red Triangle Circus Gang, and I was my name in the credits, Doug Jones, Thin Clown. Kind of describes me. I've had some great credit names over the years. Did anyone see Three Kings ever? Three Kings with George Clooney, Mark Wahlberg, Ice Cube. I've worked with a couple of Ices now. Ice Cube, and I also worked with Ice-T. We'll get to that in a minute. If anybody knows what I worked with Ice-T on, when you're going to win my watch. No, I'm kidding. I don't need my watch. Three Kings. I get sidetracked so easily. I'm like, in Three Kings, my credit was, thanks, it's great. That's what the table's for. Okay, now we know. Doesn't have to be this big, but it is. Three Kings. I played, my credit in Three Kings is Dead Iraqi Soldier. 3 things that I'm not. And recently, in theaters right now in the U.S., a movie called Quarantine. Anybody hear about Quarantine? I think it's yet to come here. It's kind of a horror film, one camera sort of. What's that? Remake. It's a kind of remake of a movie that wasn't even out yet by the time they started making it. Rec, R-E-C, the Spanish movie. But I do a cameo at the end of Quarantine, and my credit in that is Doug Jones as Thin infected man. I love that. Kiss me. Thin infected man. There, enjoy. So I'm jumping ahead. After Batman Returns, I was blessed to have auditioned for and gotten into a little movie called Hocus Pocus. Anyone know the Halloween movie? Hocus Pocus with Bette Midler and Sarah Jessica Parker. Didn't you love that movie? I know. I did too. I love that. I love working on that. And I had the privilege of playing Billy Butcherson, the zombie dead guy that was Bette Midler's ex-boyfriend from 300 years before. She sewed my mouth shut before she poisoned me and put me under the grave. And then in this movie, she brings me back to life to help her on her mission of evil.